Thank you, Mr. President. We're going to withdraw the amendment at this time, but I'd like to just highlight a couple things real quick while I'm here in the well, Mr. President. When we talk about charter schools, a couple years ago, colleagues, we passed a bill that simply said local school districts could no longer say they wouldn't approve a charter school and they'd have to come to the state and get approved by the state, and the state would absorb all the funding. So for example, in the case of Savannah, you have the Savannah Classical Academy, which is funded by a couple local philanthropists, and their HVAC system went out, but they have no budget for capital outlay or capital projects of that magnitude, but they still operate as a charter school with a board, and they will have to continue to operate. This would just allow them to have the consideration in East Bluff's dollars, as those students are public school students, but they do not receive a share of that penny as public school students in a charter school. And so this would just provide them with a little bit of parity so that they could make it to the East Bluffs list, where a school board can just not look unfavorably and say, oh, because you're a charter school, we will not give you any East Bluffs dollars. And with that, Mr. President, I believe it's fairly simple, and I hope I've explained it a little more clearly. And with that, I will yield the well.
You can if you like, Senator. I recognize the Senator from 37th.
Mr. Chairman, yield.
I yield.
I'm not so sure you need to draw that. You need to remove. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase this. Isn't it true that SPLOST dollars can be spent not only on facilities but also on technology?
East Bluffs can be spent only on capital outlays as relates to school districts, and East Bluffs dollars can only be spent to the threshold that a school district has set for the collection amount. Okay. So they do not collect any overage.
I'm trying to help you here, but East Bluffs dollars can also be spent on technology.
Yes, that is a capital outlay.
So because of that, there may be a need for computer systems, laptops, whatever the school may need, that's not going to be a capital improvement, but might be a 5-year asset or 10-year asset that the charter school needs, but would not fall in the category of facilities that the school district owns. So
That's
you're trying to open the door to something that could be acquisition of new property for the charter school, acquisition of technology for the charter school that would not be owned and held by the school system. In many cases, isn't it true, school systems aren't friendly to charter schools, and if we remove the language the amendment's proposing to remove, we actually help charter schools accomplish their mission in communities where the school board's really working against them. Isn't that true?
I believe that is true, Senator, and I believe what we do with our charter schools and to provide them with some parity is those students are traditional public school students. They're traditional students in the public school setting. They just go to a charter school. And in my particular county, I happen to have the best charter school in our whole county. It would be #1 if it weren't for some of the specialty schools, and I have now gotten a greater affinity for our charter schools and what they're able to do, and that's why I'm supporting this legislation to give them that level of parity.
And isn't it true that if we adopt the amendment that you've contemplated removing, but if we adopt it, we put the language back to that which the charter school organizations that are very thoughtful and measured had intended be in this legislation? Is that not true?
I believe that is true, Senator, and I actually withdrew that amendment, as I know it's taken a little bit for folks to really grasp that concept. So if we have to move it forward and fix it in the House, if every senator would vote green on this legislation, I will continue to work with the senator from the 38th so that we can perfect it and create parity for our charter schools. And with that, Mr. President, I yield the well.
All right.